All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The ever confusing Los Angeles Angels are at it again, as just when you thought that this team was going to trade star player Shohei Ohtani, they have done a complete 180. Not only are the Angels not going to trade Otani before next week's deadline, but they also picked up some reinforcements yesterday when they acquired starting pitcher Lucas Giolito and relief pitcher Reynaldo Lopez from the Chicago White Sox. Giolito was one of the top players available before the trade deadline, as the White Sox aren't expected to re-sign him when he becomes a free agent, or they weren't expected rather to expect to re-sign him when he becomes a free agent this winter. This is another 180 for the Angels because, again, last offseason, it appeared that team owner Artie Moreno was looking or was going to sell the team until he had a change of heart. And now, of course, this right here with Shohei, and just makes you wonder what is next in Orange County for these Angels. You're looking at an Angels team. They just swept the Tigers today in a doubleheader. They're currently 54 and 49. They're 6 games behind the Texas Rangers for first place in the American League West, and they're 3 behind the Toronto Blue Jays for the final wild card spot. Los Angeles has been 9-2 since the All-Star break, which was highlighted by them sweeping the New York Yankees last week. And in my opinion, that is the series that made the Angels buyers and not sellers. To me, this is a calculated risk by the Halos, but it's worth it. I say that it's calculated because there is a possibility that Shohei leaves in free agency over the winter. And if that were to be the case, then the Angels would get nothing in return except for a draft pick. But I do applaud them because not only are they rolling the dice to keep Shohei, but they're also looking to improve their chances to go out there and make the postseason. Because aside from picking up Giolito, they're going to get Mike Trout back at some point, and that is only going to add more depth to this Angels lineup. And remember, it wasn't that long ago before the Angel, being that the Angels were left for dead, and I say that because we saw Shohei, Mike Trout, and Anthony Rendon all get hurt in the same game. But the Angels were able to stay afloat heading into the All Star break, and then they've come out and they played some good baseball here at the beginning of the second half, and it's going to be tested real soon because the Angels are coming up on a very, very tough stretch here where they're playing a who's who of postseason contenders for both the National League and the American League. After they took care of business today against the Tigers, the Angels will be in Toronto this weekend for a 3-game set with the Blue Jays. They're then on the road for a 3-game set with the Atlanta Braves. They're then back home to host the Seattle Mariners in 4. They then host the San Francisco Giants for 3. After that, 3 at Houston with the Astros, and then 3 at Texas with the Rangers before they come back home to host the Tampa Bay Rays for a 3-game series. Then they host the Cincinnati Reds for a 3-game series. Then it's another East Coast swing at the end of August. 3 versus the New York Mets, and then 3 versus the Philadelphia Phillies before they come back for a 3-game set with the Oakland Athletics in Oakland. And then after that, they have a 3-game set with not the Toronto Blue Jays, the Baltimore Orioles. But with that said, that stretch that I just mentioned there's a lot of good contending teams that the Angels are going to have to face. So it's going to be put up or shut up time. I'll say this. I think as long as he's healthy, Shohei is going to continue to ball out. He's having another MVP caliber type season. You had to expect that because, number one, Shohei is arguably the best player in baseball right now. On top of that, this is his walk year. I think the fact that the Angels decided to be buyers and not sellers, I think strengthens their case to keep Shohei. Not saying that they're going to be able to do it there's also going to be some big market contenders out there. I do expect the Dodgers to be in the mix, the Texas Rangers, the San Francisco Giants, and the New York Mets among teams. But nonetheless, I think this definitely helps the Angels' chances compared to what it was about a month ago when everybody thought it was just basically it was a sewn up situation that he was going to be leaving this franchise. I'm not saying he's going to be staying either, but I think this gives the Angels a stronger leg to stand on. So I'll tell you like this: I'm very happy with what the Angels have done, and hopefully for their sake, this road will end with them getting to the postseason. I mean, the Angels have not been postseason bound now since 2014. That's when, and they've had a lot of losing seasons out there in Southern California with this team. They've got some work cut out for them because they've got to get ahead of some very good teams. I think it's going to be tough for them to win this division with the way that the Rangers are playing and with the push that I do expect the Astros to have here in the second half of this season. But then wild card wise, you got Tampa Bay right there, Houston, Toronto, and then the teams that you got to get in front of in order to catch Toronto. You got to get in front of the Red Sox and the Yankees. Not going to be as easy this time around due to the fact that the AL East is not beating up on each other like they have in years past because of the balanced schedule. So it's just 13 divisional games, 13 games versus each divisional opponent, as opposed to 19 in years past. So I like the moves that the Angels are making. Let's see if it leads to the postseason for them. And also, let's see if they have done enough to keep Shohei Ohtani with their franchise. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.